right, since most of you had lots of questions about scientific notation on your Wildcat sheet, I have two examples today for our warm-up, and we're going to write the following numbers in scientific notation. So for scientific notation, you can only have one number in front of the decimal point. So I'm going to want my number to be between my decimal point to be between the 1 and the 5. So I'm going to move my decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. We keep everything that's the regular numbers. So I'm going to keep my 1.503. And then we're going to put the number we moved to the exponent. Now, the reason that this is negative is because this is a really, really small number. It's 0.000. So it's a negative exponent. Here, this is a really large number. So when I get to the exponent part, it will be positive. Again, we only want one number in front of the decimal. If the decimal is out of sight, it starts to the right. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 moves. So I keep all of the regular numbers. Okay, you get rid of only the zeros, but not significant zeros. So that means zeros that are between two regular numbers. Okay, this just had regular numbers, so it's 4.8923 times 10 to the 14th. All right, here's our homework from yesterday, 4.713 through 30. I'm going to ask that you pause the video as we go through this and check your answers. Okay, now we are in the notes section for 4.8 and 4.9 in your packet. So turn to that section in your packet and you need to be following along with all of the things that pop up on the screen. So this was our example from the notes for 4.6. Shelly plans to rent a scooter during her vacation. Scooters Rock charges $8 per hour plus a $5 security deposit. The bike shop charges a $20 rental fee plus a $5 per hour. The number one says the hours that the two companies would cost the same was, well, we already did this. We solved by setting our two equations. We wrote the first equation as 8x plus 5 is equal to 5x plus 20. So we're going to set them equal. I'm going to move my variable, subtract 5x from both sides. 8x minus 5x is 3x. 5x minus 5x is 0. So I'm left with 3x plus 5 is equal to 20. Subtract 5 from both sides. We get 3x equals 15. Divide both sides by 3. At 5 hours, the companies would cost the same. So now we want to know which was the better rental for 3 hours. Well, previously we worked it out that Scooters Rock, if I plugged in 3, because that's our x value, 8 times 3 got me 24. 24 plus 5 was 29. So for 3 hours, Scooters Rock cost $29. Bike Shop, I plugged in 3 for x. 5 times 3 was 15. 15 plus 20 is 35. So for 3 hours, Scooters Rock was a better deal. Now, what was better rental if you're willing to spend $80? Well, our break-even point was at 5 hours, but what was the cost at 5 hours? So I'm going to go ahead and plug in 5 and see what the cost was there. 8 times 5 and then 5 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40 plus 5, and 5 times 5 is 25 plus 20. I get 45 and 45. Remember, at the break-even point, the cost should be the same. So at 5 hours, it was $45. Now, if you're going to spend $80, which one's actually going to be cheaper? Since the bike shop charges less per hour, they only charge $5 per hour, whereas the Scooters Rock charges $8. You are going to choose Bike Shop because $80 is past the break-even point. So when we're past the break-even point, we want the one that's going to be charging less per hour. So in that case, the Bike Shop would be cheaper. The 8th grade class is having an end-of-year skating party. There are 2 skating rinks in the area, but Miss Roberts does not know which one to choose to save the most money. At Skate Park, the rental fee is $200 plus $3 for each student. At Roller-Rama, they do not charge a rental fee, but charges $5 for each student. So we're going to define our variables and write an equation for each skating rink. Okay, well, first things first, X is going to be the number of students. One of the hints I gave you guys is look for the words that are repeated the most. So here I see, which one are we talking about? We're talking about students. We talk about students again. So this X is the number of students, and then Y is going to be our total cost or the amount of money. And then we're going to need to write an equation for both skate park and Roller-Rama. Well, looking at skate park, I see we have the words each. Remember, we're looking at the sentence that's talking about skate park. Each, well, that tells us our slope. Our slope is going to be 3 here. Your slope is always multiplied by x. So skate park is y. We're starting at y equals 3x. And then we have a fee of 200, so I have to add on 200. So the equation for skate park is y equals 3x plus 200. Now let's do the equation for Roller-Rama. I see again the word each, and that tells me my slope is going to be this 5. So y equals 5 times x. The slope is not 5x, it is 5, because the slope is always multiplied by the variable. Now I see does not charge a rental fee. So if they're not charging a rental fee, I don't have anything to add on top. So the equation for Roller-Rama is y equals 5x. All right, now we want to find the point of intersection for skate park and Roller-Rama. Well, I just set the two equations equal to each other. Notice this side only has an x, so I'm going to have to move my x's to that side. So I start by subtracting 3x from both sides. I'm left with 200 is equal to 2x. I divide both sides by 2. At 100 students, that's the x value of the point of intersection. Well, now I want to know what the y value is. So I'm going to go back to one of the original equations. This is just the equation for skate park. You could have used the equation for Roller-Rama. And I'm going to plug in 100 for x. So y is equal to 3 times 100. Remember, the slope is always multiplied by x, plus 200. Well, 3 times 100 is 300, plus 200 is 500. So the point of intersection is 100 students for $500. Now we're talking about which skating venue should she choose for 100 students. Well, if the break-even point or the point of intersection is 100 students and $500, that means they're going to be the same. It's the equal cost. It doesn't matter which place she chooses to go to, it's going to be the same. Now, when we start talking about which should she choose for 150 students, well, we're above the break-even point because that was at 100 students. So we want the one that's charging less per student at this point. So the one that charges less per student is skate park because you're above the break-even point. Which skating venue allows the most students to attend for $400? Well, if we go back here, our point of intersection was at 100 students, $500. So 400 is below the break-even point. So for in that case, you're probably looking for the one that charges more per student but doesn't have a fee. So Roller-Rama is better for that option. All right, your homework for today is 4-8 and 4-9. Your test is next block day. Please make sure you turn in your Wildcat sheet and your work. Thank you.